Welcome to House Lex Estate. Now, you usually find us talking properties, but today, well, we're doing something a bit different.
Yeah, we're diving deep, really getting into the substance behind compelling stories.
Exactly. It's all about bringing you that knowledge, those aha moments you've mentioned enjoying. So today, we're tackling The Marathon Don't Stop, The Life and Times of Nipsey Hussle by Rob Kenner.
Right. Think of this as your shortcut to understanding not just a life story, but its whole context.
And this book, it's more than just a standard biography, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. It's history, it's sociology, psychology.
Yeah.
A real case study in human potential, especially, for folks starting with the odds stacked against them.
Okay, so we're going to unpack the story, look at the core themes, and figure out why it connects with so many people, and we'll keep it structured step by step.
Sounds good. Let's start at the beginning.
Right. His early life, Ermias Astrodom, born in LA, you see these two key influences right away. His mom, Angelique Smith, pushing education, books.
She really fostered that love of reading.
But then there's Crenshaw. The streets teaching different lessons,
Absolutely. And what's fascinating is how quickly that entrepreneurial spark showed up. Shining shoes. Was it $2.50 a pair?
Yeah, and selling candy. It wasn't just about making money, though, was it?
No, it was learning the fundamentals. Saving, stacking, flipping. Those concepts stuck with him. He even bought his own clothes, like that Tommy Jeans jacket he was apparently really proud of.
It grounds the story. And his brother, Samuel Black Sam, their bond seems crucial.
Incredibly close. Grew up sharing a room, always looking out for each other. Sam was a big influence, a positive one.
And this is all happening against the backdrop of South Central LA at that time. The book gets into some heavy history there.
It really does. Deliberate segregation by city planners, which is quite stark, and then violence from racist gangs like the Spook Hunters.
So black families formed their own protection groups.
Yeah, out of necessity. Plus, you had intense LAPD tactics aimed at communities of color. Remember the chokehold ban? That came after numerous deaths of black men.
Right, in '82, and then the crack boom hit hard. The book mentions Gary Webb's reporting, too, the alleged CIA links.
It paints a picture of a really, really tough environment. You have to wonder how that shaped his later drive, right? His focus on community.
For sure. Amidst all that, he found music, started rapping, impressing friends on the bus.
Yeah, apparently he had skills early on. He was smart, good student, major thinker, good vocabulary, even a sense of humor.
He definitely had influences. DJ Premier, Jay-Z's Hustle.
Yeah, the business side of Jay-Z. And those Bay Area guys, Too Hort, E40, that independent spirit, building something outside the system, he clearly paid attention to that model.
You can see the seeds of it, burning and selling mixed CDs with friends at school.
Exactly. He even got Black Sam into it. That's like, the earliest version of All Money In.
And he knew he needed real studio time, but wanted to earn it himself, no handouts.
Right, and that connection to Slauson and Crenshaw was deep even back then. Dreaming of owning property right where he used to hustle. It's pretty amazing he actually did it later.
It really is. That long-term vision was there early. Okay, so let's talk better vision. Meeting Dexter Brown.
Yeah, Dexter saw something in him and his friends. Became a mentor figure, really important.
And that guest verse on Rallo's track, Something Ain't Right, that was a breakthrough.
Sort of his first significant look, yeah. And even then, he's dropping social commentary, referencing Marcus Garvey. Shows his depth early.
The description, little gangbang rap camp for Butter Vision, it doesn't shy away from the reality of their environment.
It doesn't. And Dexter, being a mentor, not a manager, probably gave them some breathing room creatively.
Which leads us into the more complex parts, navigating street life, gang affiliation.
Right. Developing All Money In with Sam, Adam, Fats. The name itself coming from street slang. That idea of keeping the money in the community, building ownership.
He understood how pervasive gang culture was in LA, didn't he? It wasn't just about crime.
Not at all. It was woven into the social structure. And you saw the signs in his own life, changing clothes, the blue rags, connecting with people, gaining that street respect.
Why did he get down with the Rollin' 60s? What was his reasoning?
Well, the book suggests it was partly frustration, lack of legitimate outlets, studio access being difficult. Even though he had some underground options, maybe a need to belong or, a strategic move within that landscape.
His friend Gooch was worried, right? Driving that blue Cutlass Supreme in rival areas without a license.
Yeah, that car became kind of symbolic. It highlighted the risks he was taking.
And around this time, he meets Tanisha Foster, China Hustle. A new phase, personally.
A sense of adulthood setting in, perhaps.
Then the trip to Eritrea, that sounds like it was absolutely pivotal.
Oh, profoundly transformative. Seeing his father's homeland, a country run by black people, no racial class system. Feeling that sense of belonging, it just clicked something into place for him.
Changed how he saw the conflicts back home.
Completely. Contrasting LA gang beef with, like, generational land conflict in Eritrea. It gave him a much wider perspective, an appreciation for tradition, history.
So he comes back, and the focus on all money in sharpens.
Definitely. Printing Slosson Boy records, business cards, paying for radio ads themselves, taking concrete steps.
And he was good at pulling a team together, wasn't he? People who believed in the vision.
Yeah.
And always giving back, offering jobs, guidance.
That was core to it. Even a short jail stint gave him time to think. And apparently, the gang unit cops were fans of his music, which is kind of wild.
Wow. Okay, so his music career starts bubbling. People comparing him to Snoop.
Yeah, partly the Crip connection, maybe the calm demeanor. But Hussle repped South Central much more explicitly, more boldly perhaps.
Getting that collaboration with the game was big. Snoop helped make that happen.
Yeah, Snoop's cosign was key there after a chance meeting.
And this is around the time Obama gets elected. That must have felt huge.
A massive moment of hope. And personally, he starts publicly mentioning Lauren London.
But it wasn't smooth sailing. Lots of police attention, trouble booking shows because of his background.
He really felt targeted. Like the police war on gangs was becoming a war on him.
He had a specific view on young gang members, didn't he?
Yeah, he saw them as products of the environment, not the root cause. He wanted to bridge gaps between rival hoods, foster cooperation. That was a big goal.
Which maybe ties into leaving Epic Records, choosing independence.
Absolutely. Creative integrity over chasing hits. The marathon became his narrative, the long game, building something sustainable.
He even performed with Currency despite the risks, right?
Yes.
It shows his dedication.
Totally. Pushing boundaries, avoiding those sellable cliches he talked about.
And then, proud to pay, the Crenshaw mixtape. $100 a copy.
And that was bold. A direct line to his core fans, demonstrating value. It definitely got people talking, even arguing, right there in his neighborhood.
He really saw the power of the internet, didn't he? Cutting out the middleman. Mailbox money followed that idea.
Yeah, empowering the artist, disrupting the old ways. That was central to his thinking.
His voice got louder on social issues, too. That YG track, FDT.
A powerful statement against Trump, no doubt.
And his take on Kanye's politics.
It seemed rooted in respect, but also like community accountability, holding people gently responsible within the culture.
He saw his real fans as being in the marathon with him.
Yeah, it was a shared journey. He understood the history, too, the gang politics in LA, the lessons from death row, the dangers when street stuff mixes with power. His collaborations across different affiliations were trying to change that dynamic.
Okay, Victory Lap. The major label debut, but still on his terms.
That was the goal. Intense sessions, finding that balance between his art and reaching a wider audience.
Lauren London's influence comes up again here, introducing him to Dr. Sebi.
Yeah, the health and wellness side. He even wanted to make a documentary about Sebi, knowing it might stir things up.
He was focusing more on family, too, his kids.
Seems like it. But still very aware of how deep-rooted gang culture was, how it affected everyone.
And then the loss of his friend Fats. That must have hit incredibly hard.
Devastating. A brutal reminder of the dangers, even as he was achieving mainstream success with Atlantic.
Did he use that pain as fuel?
Seems that way. Motivation to elevate their whole movement, honor Fat's memory. You see that contrast later, like with Tekashi 6ix9ine's antics during All-Star Weekend. Hussle commanded respect. 6ix9ine's was different.
His vision for South LA kept growing, right? Inspired by the spook who sat by the door.
Yeah, that idea of working within the system, but with a community empowerment agenda. Strategically.
Even working with former rivals like Firebug.
Towards a bigger goal. Developing South LA, creating jobs, fostering that economic growth he was so proud of.
Which brings us, tragically, to the final day, March 31st, 2019, back at the Marathon store.
Yeah, the place that symbolized so much of his journey.
Just hanging out, talking to cowboy customers. A normal day, it sounds like.
Until the encounter with Eric Holder. That conversation about snitching, Hussle dismissing it, but Cowboy feeling uneasy.
Then the shooting. The witness accounts are harrowing. Carrie Lathan, Kid Flashy.
Just devastating. The immediate aftermath, the shock waves.
The reactions from YG, Dexter Brown, Kizzy Capone, his sister Samantha, Idris Sandu. It shows the depth of the loss.
Yeah, but also the strength of his message. The feeling that the marathon had to continue.
That plaza really has become hallowed ground, hasn't it? Despite what the city attorney's office might think, it's a symbol of enduring respect.
Absolutely. The love for him is palpable there.
So wrapping up this deep dive on Rob Kenner's book, it's clear Nipsey Hussle's story is so much more than just a music bio.
Definitely. It's about resilience, entrepreneurship, empowering your community, navigating these incredibly complex realities.
You see how those early days shaped his values, how he built all money in on ownership, stayed independent, aimed to lift up Crenshaw while staying true to himself. It really hits that intersection of culture, business, social change.
It really does. And considering that vision he had for South LA, that focus on community collaboration, it makes you think, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, it poses a question, maybe a provocative thought for listeners. Inspired by his marathon mindset, what are some unexpected ways, maybe less obvious ways, that any of us could contribute to revitalizing our own communities?
That's a powerful thought to leave with. Sustained effort, collective progress. Definitely something to mull over. Well, if this deep dive into Nipsey Hussle's life and the themes in the Marathon Don't Stop resonated, if it sparked some curiosity or gave you those aha moments,
then you should definitely subscribe to House Lex Estate.
Right. We'll keep bringing you these kinds of in-depth explorations, unique perspectives that go beyond just real estate. Thanks for tuning in.